Sarah Winchester, the widow of William Winchester, was a woman shrouded in mystery and tragedy. Her life was marked by a series of unfortunate events that would ultimately lead her to build one of the most bizarre and fascinating mansions in history. Born in 1839, Sarah was the daughter of a wealthy family in New Haven, Connecticut. She grew up with a life of luxury and comfort, never wanting for anything. However, fate had other plans for her. In 1862, she married William Winchester, the only son of Oliver Winchester, the founder of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. The company was famous for producing the iconic Winchester rifle, known for its reliability and accuracy. The couple's life seemed perfect, with a beautiful home, a loving marriage, and a bright future ahead. However, tragedy struck in 1866 when their only child, a daughter named Annie, died in infancy. This devastating loss marked the beginning of a downward spiral for Sarah, who became reclusive and depressed. In 1881, William Winchester died suddenly, leaving Sarah a vast fortune and a 50% ownership stake in the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. She was now one of the wealthiest women in the country, but her grief and guilt over the loss of her loved ones only intensified. Seeking solace and guidance, Sarah turned to mediums and psychics, hoping to find answers and peace. It was during one of these sessions that she received a message that would change the course of her life forever. The medium told her that her family was cursed by the ghosts of the people killed by the Winchester rifle, and that she must build a house to appease these spirits and find peace. And so, Sarah Winchester set out to build a mansion that would become a testament to her grief, her guilt, and her unwavering belief in the supernatural. The result was the Winchester Mystery House, a labyrinthine structure that would confound and fascinate people for generations to come. Sarah Winchester was born on September 1st, 1839 in New Haven, Connecticut, to Leonard and Sarah Burns Pardee. Her family was part of the city's elite, with her father being a successful businessman and a descendant of a prominent New England family. The Pardees were known for their wealth, social status, and cultural refinement. Sarah grew up in a grand house on New Haven's fashionable Hill House Avenue, surrounded by the city's intellectual and artistic circles. Her childhood was marked by privilege and comfort, with access to the best education and cultural experiences. She developed a love for music, art, and literature, which would stay with her throughout her life. In 1862, Sarah married William Winchester, the only son of Oliver Winchester, the founder of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. The company was already a successful and renowned manufacturer of firearms, and William was being groomed to take over the family business. The couple's marriage was seen as a union between two of New England's most prominent families. The Winchesters settled in New Haven, where they built a grand house on Prospect Street near the Yale University campus. They were part of the city's high society, attending social events, concerts, and art exhibitions. Sarah was known for her beauty, grace, and charitable work, while William was respected for his business acumen and civic engagement. However, their life took a devastating turn in 1866 when their only child, Annie, died in infancy. This tragedy marked the beginning of a downward spiral for Sarah, who became reclusive and depressed. She struggled to come to terms with the loss of her child, and her relationship with William began to suffer. Despite their personal struggles, the Winchester family's business continued to thrive. Oliver Winchester's innovative designs and marketing strategies had made the Winchester rifle a household name, and the company's fortunes grew exponentially during the Civil War. William took over as president of the company in 1880, but his tenure was short-lived. On March 7, 1881, William Winchester died suddenly of tuberculosis, leaving Sarah a widow at the age of 41. His death was a devastating blow to Sarah, who was already struggling with grief and depression. She inherited a vast fortune, including a 50% ownership stake in the Winchester repeating arms company, making her one of the wealthiest women in the country. Sarah's life was now marked by tragedy, loss, and isolation. She became increasingly reclusive, shutting herself off from the world and seeking solace in spiritualism and the occult. Her search for answers and peace would eventually lead her to build the Winchester Mystery House, a testament to her grief, guilt, and unwavering belief in the supernatural. After William's death, Sarah's grief and despair deepened. She became convinced that her family was cursed by the ghosts of the people killed by the Winchester rifle. She believed that these spirits were haunting her, seeking revenge for the deaths they had suffered. Sarah's beliefs were fueled by her frequent visits to mediums and psychics who claimed to communicate with the spirits of the dead. They told her that her family's wealth and success had come at a terrible cost, and that the ghosts of the rifle's victims were demanding justice. One medium in particular, a woman named Adam Arabia, had a profound influence on Sarah. Arabia claimed to have communicated with the spirit of a young girl who had been killed by a Winchester rifle and who was now seeking revenge on the Winchester family. Arabia told Sarah that the only way to appease this spirit and the others was to build a house for them, a house that would never be finished, and where the spirits could roam freely. Sarah became obsessed with the idea of building this house, believing that it was the only way to find peace and escape the haunting. She sold her mansion in New Haven and moved to San Jose, California, where she purchased an 8-room farmhouse and began construction on what would become the Winchester Mystery House. As the construction progressed, Sarah's beliefs about the haunting only intensified. She became convinced that the spirits were guiding her design choices, dictating the layout of the rooms, the placement of the doors and windows, and even the type of wood and hardware used. She believed that the spirits were trying to confuse and disorient anyone who entered the house, and that the labyrinthine design was a way of keeping them trapped. Sarah's obsession with the haunting and the house consumed her life. She spent vast sums of money on the construction, hiring a team of carpenters, architects, and engineers to work on the project. She insisted on using only the finest materials, and she personally oversaw every aspect of the construction. As the years passed, the Winchester Mystery House became a sprawling, labyrinthine mansion with staircases leading to nowhere, doors that opened into walls, and rooms that seemed to shift and change. Sarah believed that the house was alive and that it was constantly changing to accommodate the spirits. The haunting continued to intensify, with Sarah reporting strange occurrences and sightings throughout the house. She claimed to have seen ghosts and heard strange noises, and she became convinced that the spirits were becoming more and more agitated. Despite her fear, Sarah refused to leave the house, believing that she was trapped in a never-ending cycle of guilt and revenge. She continued to build the house, adding room after room, stairway after stairway, in a desperate attempt to appease the spirits and find peace. The haunting of Sarah Winchester is a testament to the power of grief, guilt, and the human psyche. It is a reminder that the past can never be escaped, and that the consequences of our actions can haunt us for generations to come. The Winchester Mystery House is a sprawling Victorian mansion that defies architectural conventions. It is a labyrinthine structure that seems to shift and change as you navigate its winding hallways and staircases. The mansion is a testament to Sarah Winchester's eccentricity and her belief in the supernatural. The mansion's exterior is a mix of Gothic, Romanesque, and Queen Anne styles, with turrets, towers, and gables that seem to sprout from the roof like mushroom. The facade is a jumble of windows, doors, and architectural details that seem to have been added at random. The effect is both fascinating and unsettling, like a dream that's both beautiful and terrifying. As you enter the mansion, you're immediately struck by the grandeur of the interior. The foyer is a soaring space with a sweeping staircase that curves up to the left and a door to the right that leads to a narrow corridor. The walls are adorned with intricate wood paneling, and the floors are made of polished hardwood that creaks beneath your feet. The mansion has 6 floors, including the basement, and the attic, and it's filled with strange and wondrous sights. There are rooms that seem to have no purpose, like the seance room with its single chair and crystal ball. There are staircases that lead to nowhere, like the staircase to the stars that ascends to a blank wall. And there are doors that open into walls, like the door to nowhere that seems to lead to a secret passageway. The mansion is famous for its oddities, like the upside-down room, where the furniture is attached to the ceiling, and the daisy room where the walls are adorned with daisies that seem to bloom forever. There's also the garden room, with its indoor garden and fountain, and the ballroom, with its chandelier that seems to float in midair. As you explore the mansion, you start to notice strange symbols etched into the walls and floors. These symbols are believed to be a code that Sarah Winchester used to communicate with the spirits. They're a reminder that the mansion is a spiritual place, a place where the living and the dead coexist. The mansion also contains many strange and exotic artifacts that Sarah collected during her travels. There are ancient Egyptian relics, Chinese porcelain, and Indian tapestries that adorn the walls and floors. There are also strange and exotic weapons, like the Winchester rifle that's displayed in a glass case. The Winchester Mystery House is a place of wonder and terror, a place where the rational and irrational coexist. It's a testament to the power of the human imagination and the enduring mystery of the human psyche. The Winchester Mystery House was built to confuse and appease the spirits of people killed by the Winchester rifle. Sarah Winchester believed that her family was cursed by these spirits, and that the only way to find peace was to build a house that would never be finished, and where the spirits could roam freely. The mansion was designed to be a labyrinth, with rooms and corridors that seemed to shift and change as you navigate them. This design was intended to confuse the spirits and prevent them from finding their way out of the house. The strange symbols etched into the walls and floors were also meant to confuse the spirits and keep them trapped. Sarah believed that as long as the house was under construction, the spirits would leave her alone. She spent millions of dollars on the construction, hiring a team of carpenters, architects, and engineers to work on the project. She insisted on using only the finest materials, and she personally oversaw every aspect of the construction. The mansion was also a way for Sarah to atone for the sins of her family. She believed that the Winchester rifle had brought death and destruction to countless people, and that she had a responsibility to make amends. By building the mansion, she was trying to create a place where the spirits could find peace and where she could find redemption. The mansion was also a testament to Sarah's grief and guilt. She had lost her only child, Annie, in infancy, and she was haunted by the memory of her daughter's death. The mansion was a way for her to keep Annie's memory alive and to create a place where she could communicate with her daughter's spirit. As the years passed, the mansion became a place of pilgrimage for people seeking spiritual enlightenment. Sarah welcomed these visitors, and she would often give them tours of the mansion, explaining the symbolism and significance of the various rooms and corridors. Today, the Winchester Mystery House is a popular tourist attraction, and it remains one of the most bizarre and fascinating buildings in the world. It is a testament to the power of grief, guilt, and redemption, and a reminder that the past is always present, shaping our lives in ways we can't even imagine. Sarah Winchester's legacy is a complex and multifaceted one, reflecting both the tragedy and the triumph of her life. She left behind a mansion that is both a testament to her grief and a monument to her creativity and determination. The Winchester Mystery House is now one of the most popular tourist attractions in California, drawing millions of visitors each year. It is a place of wonder and awe, a labyrinthine mansion that seems to shift and change as you navigate its winding hallways and staircases. But the mansion is more than just a tourist attraction. It is also a spiritual place, a place where people come to seek enlightenment and connection with the dead. Many visitors have reported strange occurrences and sightings in the mansion, and it is said to be one of the most haunted places in the world. Sarah Winchester's legacy also extends beyond the mansion itself. She was a pioneer in the field of spiritualism, and her beliefs and practices paved the way for future generations of spiritual seekers. Her story has inspired countless books, films, and television shows, and she remains one of the most fascinating and enigmatic figures in American history. Despite her wealth and privilege, Sarah Winchester's life was marked by tragedy and loss. She lost her only child in infancy, and her husband died suddenly and unexpectedly, but she refused to be defeated by these tragedies, and instead she channeled her grief and energy into building a mansion that would be a testament to her love and her creativity. In the end, Sarah Winchester's legacy is one of hope and resilience. She showed that, even in the darkest of times, there is always the possibility for transformation and redemption. Her story continues to inspire and fascinate people to this day, and her mansion remains a place of wonder and awe, a testament to the power of the human spirit. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the heart of darkness. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more explorations of the unknown, the unexplained, and the unsettling. Until next time, stay vigilant and keep the lights on, because in the world of hidden horrors, the truth is always hiding in plain sight. Hidden horrors where the truth is terrifying.